Today I'm going to do boy math political edition because this news story is very much boy math. So before I get started, when I went to college, I was actually an accounting major. I took business administration and majored in accounting. And this was more than 20 years ago. And even back then, even before the housing bubble burst and all of the regulations and everything that came about because of it, there were still lots of laws and regulations that were in place due to accounting. I mean, for accounting. And so reading this story is crazy to me because what these people did, what these accountants did, and these money managers did was so beyond the pale, and they know better. Trump was able to get so much popularity because of the art of the deal, but many of his deals were based on lies, valuation, just outright lies. Let's just play it like that. But let's get into this article. Like I said, this is boy math. Trump's corporate controller tells court they boosted the value of his Trump Tower penthouse by 20 million because he was famous. Another $100 million hike in the estimate was based on a single email from a real estate broker who hadn't commissioned an appraisal, didn't inspect the triplex, and was told it was 3 times its actual size. All of this is math. All of this is inflated ego math. This man right here that you see is former Trump organization controller Jeffrey McConney. Now, I do not understand why so many people allowed themselves to get wrapped up in this and put their livelihoods on the line. But that's what boy math did, and that's why they are in all of this trouble. Okay. Donald Trump's corporate executives once boosted his estimated worth of his Trump Tower by 20 million, partly because of the value of his celebrity. New York Attorney General Letitia James' lawsuit alleges the former president conspired with top executives to exaggerate his wealth and deceive lenders and others. Trump denies any wrongdoing. In pretrial testimony, the former president said that people who did business with him were given ample warning not to trust the statements and that he never thought that the documents would be taken very seriously. He described the financial statements as more of a compilation of properties than a true representation of their value. He was calling them guesstimates. Now, keep in mind, he was able to use his supposed wealth to garner so much popularity. So he uses this is what he does to get more money, to create more businesses. This is what he was doing to get these MAGA people on board. He's like, I'm so great at doing business, even though I'm lying. But McConney's testimony came with evidence that the documents were integral to some of Trump's loan deals. In letters shown in the court, McConney told a bank that he was providing Trump's 2015 and 16 financial statements as required under the conditions of the loan for his Seven Springs estate north of New York City. To figure the penthouse value, Trump executives combed through real estate listings looking only for the highest priced similar apartments. And the $100 million increase in 2012, I'm basing that on an email from Kevin, referring to real estate agent Kevin Snedden, the broker that offered a quick estimate based on the asking price for a similar triplex in a Trump-owned building elsewhere in Manhattan, an apartment that ultimately sold for only 40% of the asking price. This is boy math. This is lying. He has based his entire empire and reputation on lies. But y'all know that MAGA people are not going to see through these lies because they are hell-bent on, go Trump. The Trump train. Over the next year, McConney tacked on an additional 20 million, upping the estimated value of Trump's penthouse to 200 million. He said the change was based partly on a Trump real estate executive's suggestion that the apartment's celebrity connection warranted a higher price. McConney also acknowledged making his own calculations instead of relying on the numbers in a bank appraisal to increase the stated worth of Trump's Wall Street office building by $227 million. The fact that these people think that they could get away with these numbers like forever and they're doing nothing wrong when regular people will get caught up by hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars is mind blowing. McConney reasoned that there was no right way to determine valuations and that it was appropriate to calculate the value of Trump's apartment based on asking prices instead of sales prices as appraisals do. This man is absolutely lying because you learn how to do these things. You learn the laws of the land, you learn regulations in school. And I know that these laws and regulations are consistently changing because they teach us that in school. Judge Arthur Engoron said, I think any high school student knows the right way. McConney, who worked at the Trump Organization from 1987 until February, also testified at the company's criminal tax fraud trial last year. Granted immunity from prosecution, the ex-controller admitted breaking the law to help fellow executives avoid taxes on company-paid perks, including by filing false tax returns. These people should be in jail. White-collar crimes done by alabaster people get overlooked, but they are literally pilfering money and able to live like kings and queens simply because they have money, but they get a lot of this money by defrauding people, and they get the benefit of the doubt simply because of their skin color. The company was convicted. Trump himself wasn't charged in that case. McConney's appearance Thursday followed days of testimony from two accountants who worked on the financial statements. James' legal team sought to demonstrate that Trump and his company had complete control over the preparation of the statements, with the outside accountants relying on the information from the company. The defense tried to show that if there were problems, they were the accountant Donald Bender's fault. This is what Trump does. Instead of taking responsibility and being the leader that he acts like he is, he shifts blames and he throws everybody under the bus. The fact that so many people have stuck by him, despite the fact that he is always throwing everybody under the bus for his behaviors and the behaviors that ultimately stop with the company, this is what he does. And people are still supporting him. And it boggles my mind as well. Bender, who prepared the statements for years, insisted Thursday he asked Trump organization executives for all the required documents, but didn't always get them. He said he learned about some of the missing appraisals only during the Manhattan's prosecutor's investigation into Trump's business practices. I'm sure he's lying. I'm sure they all know all of this stuff. Defense lawyer Jesus M. Suarez asked why Bender didn't notice the appraisal's absence earlier. I asked them for appraisals. They represented that they gave me everything I needed. The non-trial concerned allegations of conspiracy, insurance fraud, and falsifying business records. James is seeking $250 million in penalties and a ban on Trump doing business in New York. Engoron ruled on some other claims before the trial, finding that Trump did engage in fraud. Trump did engage in fraud by inflating his assets worth on the statements. So, boy math, lying, all of that put into the political spectrum to get more popularity, to continue the frauding of everything on a wider scale. That is what Trump did. And that's what he will continue to do because his supporters do not care that he lied about basically everything. Some of this is just simply holding him accountable for his behaviors. There are rules, and most of us little people have to adhere to them. So hopefully there is a modicum of justice where a lot of these people get held to account. You guys go ahead, jump into the comments. Like I said, this is political boy math. This is talking about rules, regulations, and how some of these people simply do not believe that the rules and numbers actually apply to them. Like, comment, share.